Welcome back to my second Podio tutorial. So for this video, I'm going to be going over Podio's front end. What is Podio generally? Podio is a customer relationship management app, what we generally refer to as a CRM, just like the area received, and other like CRM apps out there. But the different thing about Podio is Podio allows you to customize and basically create your own CRM, and it lets you to put the bits and pieces like like Lego blocks, and then you can put everything together to do exactly what you want. And with a little bit of programming skill or with a little bit of extra time in your hands to tinkle with things in the back end, you can even make your Podio workspace even more powerful. Like I said in the last video, this particular workspace is a very powerful one in that it is a massive text blasting real estate software. It has smartphone integration for texting. It has chat GPT integration for checking the messages from sellers and determining the status of the sellers. It's going to tell you if the seller is interested. It's going to tell you if the seller is maybe you need to follow up on the seller. Maybe the seller says don't call me anymore or don't text me. ChatGPT is gonna handle all of that and automatically. Well, with the way I did the automations at the back, depending on what ChatGPT says, I've been able to automate the back end where once the seller says they're not interested, Podio automatically tags the seller as not interested. If the seller says don't call me, or they say any kind of negative stuff, it automatically plays the seller on DNC. So it's a very powerful, robust system that I made, and this is the front end. There's another whole page, whole website, for you to program the back end for your workspace, for your front end. So this is the front end, and all these apps here, I built each of them from scratch. You have this for text blasting. You have this for deciding how many times you want to text a particular seller in a month. There's this problem where some sellers, they have multiple properties, and you don't want a situation where you're texting them for each and every one of your property. You only want to text them once. So yeah, this app does that, and then it also controls how many times you reach them in a month. You don't Each time you want to do a campaign, and you have like multiple campaigns, and you don't want to be reaching out to the seller every single time you have a campaign. If you have like 100 campaigns in a month, you don't want to reach the seller 100 times. So that's going to make you look like a cycle. So you can adjust how many times you want to reach them in a month with this, and then this app stores the phone numbers and then stores if it's the correct number, if it's a did not call phone number. This is the app that stores like the chat history between each seller, and that way you can decide whether they're interested. This helps ChatGPT decide. And then we have this for for storing the seller information and all that. And then this is the smartphone app, which is kind of like comes default if you have like smartphone integrated. I didn't have to create this app, although I had to like make some extra edits to it to aid some of the automations at the back end. And then these texting numbers. So what I did for this is I added the option to put in your phone numbers from smartphone. That way, as a front-end user, you don't have to have to go into the backend to change phone numbers and all that. Like you can just put it in here and then it automatically loads in the backend. And this is good for whenever you change numbers on smartphone. You don't have to start calling your programmer. Oh, I changed my number on the I wanna change it on Podio too or something like that. So these are like um other apps for controlling specific niche of clients. And so this is the instruction app which stores the prompts that was used to program ChatGPT. And yeah, so that's the summary for this workspace, and it's a very powerful workspace, and I'm actually proud of it. Like it's a you know good working system, and I mean some huge apps like launch control, they employ stuff like this. I did this myself with Podio, and you could have it too. Even though you want something like this. I offer this on subscription also. So if you want something like this or something like this gonna work for your business, just let me know in the comments, and we can talk about that. So I'm gonna walk us through, how to build all this. I'm gonna put in it. I just like the title of the video says, it's gonna come in series, and I don't know for how long it's gonna take, but I'm just gonna try to break it down as much as possible, because some of the concepts can be complex. There's a lot of logic that goes into it. I feel like the the hardest thing you would have to do in the back end is figuring out the logic. The logic is actually, the tools are there. How to put them together is the hardest thing you would have to figure out, especially if you want to make Podio do what you want. So putting all these apps together and all is not something I did in a day. Sometimes it took me hours and hours. Like the ChatGPT part, it took me hours and hours to get it working. And it's currently work in progress, but I also did something where ChatGPT can actually have a conversation with the seller. It's still a work in progress because it's AI, and some of the wordings can sound like robotic, and you don't want to really engage clients with like robotic text and all of that. So we're still working on the kinks to see if that is something we can roll out and make public. But with a very good seller, straightforward seller, yeah, the ChatGPT AI can talk with the seller. But then the problem is there's so many types of sellers out there. There's so many type of clients out there. You have to like make room for all the possible scenarios, all the possible responses that the sellers or the clients is gonna ask. And also we've had like successful runs where we got to the point where we scheduled a call with the clients, but there's also been some bad some failed runs too, where like for example if the seller is the type where he responds multiple times, like we have some people, they respond like multiple times, and the syntax in the back end is treating every message that's coming in. So that's kind of weird, because if you're sending like multiple messages as a seller, and then the buyer too is replying to every single message you're sending. Yeah, so I'm still working on the kinks to figure out a working solution for that, but yeah, we're still working on that. So right now ChatGPT only decides if the seller is interested or not interested, and that works perfectly. And yeah, so for today, I know I said a lot already. For today I'm just gonna run us through creating a workspace and then creating an app, and then from there we go to some other more technical stuff. All right, so if you want to create an app, you click on this link here, and by the time you click it, then I guess I can create one. Okay, say Podio Series create. So you want to make it private so that you can be the only one sending the invite. Else, if you make it open, every other person in your workspace, in your organization can join. So you want to make it private so you can select the people by yourself. So you create, and then from here you can add the people you want to invite to the workspace. Right now, nope. So you can add like email addresses and stuff to invite them, and then from here you can choose the type of membership. If you make them an admin, then they have access to a lot of stuff. If you make them a regular member, then they have access to specific stuff, needed stuff. Light members likely can only post and change stuff, but not like major important stuff. So yeah, so we have this new workspace called Podio Series, and then the next thing you're going to do is create an app. Just click on create app. You can either go to the app market to import apps, but when I just started, I went to the app market, just to get apps and all that, because I didn't want to get into the nitty-gritty of having to create apps myself. So if you really want to program Podio to do what you want, don't expect to do everything in a quick way. You want to sit down with it, digest the whole system, and make it do what you want. If you get something from the app markets, they already have it's already prepared and all you have to do is edit stuff and all, but it might not work exactly how you want it to work, because some of those apps you get from the app market, they already have automations in them. Which can mess up what you want to do. So usually I just create my own app. It's very easy. I just give it an app name. Say I could just call this clients app, and then each person is going to be called a client. You can make this a contact app. You could put any okay, you could put any app icon you want, and then you could choose any of the layouts. Usually I go with table. You could create an app description, say this is for Podio Series. Usually you don't need to fill out this in, you could just leave it blank. And then advanced stuff, this is things you might want to tinker with yourself, but you don't need to touch all this. I don't use them. I guess this unique ID might be good, but for starters you don't want to worry about that too much. So you can go create apps, and then now it's gonna, so because I chose contact, it already add this pre-filled for me, and then now I can add extra stuff. Say client address. I could say yeah. So if you want to add extra stuff, you have text category. So what category does is it helps you create lists. So I could say status. I could call this status and say interested or not interested, or I could say the person says DNC. Yep. And then from here you can choose, do you want it to be multiple choice? If you say multiple choice, that means I can select multiple and have them appear at the same time. If I say single choice, that means it's just like one. I can only select one at a particular time. And that is very important for the backend, because if you have multiple, you can have issues updating. If you say single, then whenever you select one, that means that represents that client. If you say the client is interested, if you say the client is not interested, that also checks out. But if you say multiple select and then you select interested and not interested, then you'd have to make provisions for that in the backend also. That means if the interested and not interested is selected, then you make provisions for that. So it can be complex when you have it on multiple choice, but the simpler thing to do is just have it on single choice, depending on your use case actually. So if you say inline, what inline is, let me just show you what inline does. Click on done, and now we can create a sample client. Say James Doe, job title probably programmer, organization Fudge, okay, email address test@test.com, phone number 210-123-1234. That's a dot phone number. Client address, I don't need to put this one. So this was what I was trying to tell you about the list. If you have inline, it's going to display them horizontally. If you have list, it's going to display them vertically. If you have it as drop down list, then it's going to display it as a drop down. What developers will usually refer to as a combo, not a combo box, it's still a list. So it's gonna show up as this, and then this might look neater, when for your front end, depending on what you want. Actually, I usually go with the inline, because the inline just shows you all the options. So you can add as much stuff depending on how what you want with your clients, depending on the business that you have with them and information that you need from them. So a relationship, what a relationship does is, if I add a relationship, if I have multiple apps and I want to connect this particular client to another app, maybe to another information on another app, that's what this relationship option is for. So this member is it tracks the people in your organization that are working together on this particular workspace. So if I put this member option there, the options is gonna be either me or whoever else I have on the workspace, not the clients. So this member is just for people that are working together on the project. And so if you want to add links, also you have the link option. You have the image option, you have money, you have progress bar. These are all like nice features to have, but you don't have a lot of people using them. And then this is another one. So this calculation allows you to add JavaScript. It allows you to add JavaScript into um, your page. So say I'm gonna say var equals at. So it allows you to call any of the variables from this client. So you say you want to add like two pieces of information from this client. You want to add them together, or you want to display them together. You could do it from here. Say you want to make the email address. You want to make the email address and say the phone number to appear together. You could do it from here. And now you could say Alright, so you have to go get this code. So whenever you have like an email or a phone number and you're trying to call it, because it's an array, so you have to use this code to like call it into your client's like profile. So you can see using this I have the phone number, and then using this I have like the email address. So now I just have to like put them together. So you have like to call them, you have to go call the variable plus and then put a space in between, probably put a colon in there, then add the B. So you should be getting that. Yeah, it probably wants me to map them, so now I could just put that there. Yeah. I thought that was what was gonna happen. Alright, so this is one way to yeah, so it works now. Alright, you could either do it this way, or you could just create another variable, say var c equal to that, and then var d equal to that. So all these codes is something you can get from ChatGPT. Really, you just have to explain. You have to give ChatGPT a good prompt. If you really don't want to deal with this, you can always have your programmer do this for you. While you can set up the major structures and then have your programmer do all this like nitty-gritty stuff. So now that I have that as a variable, now I could just go and call the variables directly. C plus then plus the so this is just a sample, really. So this is just to like display the email and then the phone number together in one place. And yeah, now if we go to the actual client's page, now you should have this. This needs to be updated, so now I can just do a calculation refresh, and once this is done, it should show the email. And so this is what we did. So this is valuable for in case you want to see some information at a glance. If you want to say there's some information in here and you want the information to be on the top of the page, you could just use that to like pull all those information together, and everything is just like in one place. So yeah, so that's one way to go about it. And then you could also you could also do Podio has this like front end type automation, and then it also has like back end automations. I don't touch much with, I don't do too much with the front end automations because it's very limited. So you can create a workflow and say when something is updated on the clients, maybe the name is updated on the client, and if you can add another one, and maybe the current status is contains interested. Then you could add conditions, say maybe future status is does not contain not interested. You can mess with it however you want, but I don't really use this. I use the backend automations because that is like more robust and more, it gives you more options and all. So if you don't want to mess too much with the backend, you can also do this. So say if the client is interested, you can say, okay, create a task. Create a task for one of your workers, or you could say create an item in another app, or you could say update an item or update an item. Like you have options, and then you can name the workflow and then save. I don't do too much with the front end automations. So so that's it about creating an app. And then you also have like filters also. So what this filter does is you can save filters, really. Like if you have like multiple leads in here and then you want to filter them by specific filters, you could say, the time it was created. You can filter them by the status. You can filter them by interested or not interested or DNC. So what that does is it's going to separate the leads you have in here according to the parameters that you put in the filter. And then once you do that, you can also save that view. You can save the view, put it as theme view, and you can put it as test, and then you can save. And then whenever you click on this, it's just going to show it's going to automatically load the applied filters that you applied. And then you can save filters also. Maybe if you want to change the information in the filter, you can save that too. So once you have changed some stuff in here, you can just go to save as, override current view, and then save. And whenever you click on this, you could just load that filter automatically without having to like go into the filter place to like change stuff. For you to like upload like a file that contains like information about clients, you could just go to Excel imports, and then you can import files like an Excel file. And then if you want to use a web form to like get information, say you have like clients on a website, or you send a link to someone to fill the form, you can use the web form, and then you can put all this like information in there. And then once the person fills this information, it automatically saves into your CRM. So that's one other important feature that I feel Podio excels at. So you can use a web form to get information in. You can also import, and then you can manually add information also. So this, if you want to edit the app settings, you can come back here and then change name, change app name, change app description. You can do it from there. So this link takes you to the backend. So this link takes you to the backend, and then you can log in. log in, and it's just going to show you all the apps that you have. So sometimes the backend doesn't refresh in time, so sometimes you have to like do a manual refresh. So now this is Podio series, and we have the clients app in there, and then from here you can like create new. But this is a lesson for another time. I'm just showing you like a picture of what the backend looks like. So now we can go back to Podio. Go back. All right, go to the clients app part. Yeah, so in the next video I would be going over some simple JavaScript codes that you're gonna need for the front end, and the one after that then I'll start talking about the back end, because what I'm going to be talking about mostly is going to be the back end and the backend tools for Podio. I'm pretty sure there's like many videos out there that talks about the front end, about Podio and how to, set up some tasks and all that. But I'm going to be going in depth into the backend and how to use the backend tools, which I feel we don't have a lot of videos out there for. All right. See you in the next video. You can like and subscribe, and just to encourage me to make more videos. All right. Thank you.